Neighborhood diamonds, neighborhood diamonds, neighborhood diamonds, represent diamonds in the rough for a while.
Hey y'all, it's Khimani here, and we are gearing up for another virtual interview. We got Bryce Savoy stepping into the studio. We are going to be talking about his new project, Neighborhood Diamonds, and yeah, so let's get into it. All right, y'all, we are here in the virtual studio with Bryce Savoy.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thanks for having me.
Yes, Oakland's very own. He just recently dropped his first full-length project, Neighborhood Diamonds.
Yep. Out now, available worldwide.
Yes, sir. So how do you feel about it? How do you feel about your project?
I feel good. Like I know, like man, this is one of those projects that it really took a lot out of me because this is like the first time I actually, obviously I oversee all of my stuff, but this is the first time I got actually recorded and mixed, 70% of the project, and so just that new process alone was challenging. Learned a lot, but I'm glad that I got it done and got it out for the people, man. So I'm blessed to do that.
Yes, sir. So when you say you had to mix and everything yourself, was that by choice or was that due to COVID?
That was a little bit of both, but I think it was really about choice though, because it was like when COVID first started, I was trying to figure out like creatively what's next. Like, like you gotta think I just came off of the tour. Like like my last tour stop was supposed to be in LA, and that was on my birthday, and that was literally like once COVID hit and everything was just in chaos. So to have that canceled, it was almost like, damn, like I feel like I built up, I worked, so long to get to that point, and for it to like not follow through and not happen that the way that I anticipated it, it was almost like, fuck, I didn't know what was next. And so once the COVID and quarantine got into all of that, it was like trying to figure out creatively, how can I get inspired again? And so it started really with me picking up a camera and kind of just learning how to like take pictures. Like it was like a month straight, I was just like learning how to take pictures, editing the pictures, like that whole process. And I feel like learning that and kind of like getting through that gave me the confidence to like say, okay, let me take a stab at recording and mixing myself. Like I had the mic, I always had the setup. I got Pro Tools, and literally from there was just me in it. And in it, hours on the end each day trying to learn something new. And the result of that is Neighborhood Diamonds. So I'm happy that it came out the way that it, came.
When you said you started practicing like doing photos and stuff, are you into photography or is that like?
I mean, like, as an artist and I consider myself a model in a sense, No, but I'm saying like, you got, that's a part of your artistry. Like you have to take photos, you have to be comfortable behind the camera. And so I just got to the point where fully in myself, just confident in that side of it. But it was like, let me at least learn it. Cause I take photo shoots, cover art, artwork. That's always a part of just being an artist. So it was like, all right, let me just learn that just to kind of see what I'm getting inspired, what can inspire me, what it could lead to. And it led to the music. It kind of tied into the music for me.
That's what's up. That's pretty great how, another outlet led you back to your main outlet / passion, which is dope.
Yeah.
Would you be like doing any photo shoots later down the line, or like is this a thing?
I don't know. I see. I'm gonna have to charge. I'm gonna have to charge a little bit for that. But no, I don't. I think I could because it's been a minute. Like after that month, I kind of went into the full record mode, so I haven't really tapped back into it. But I don't know that after doing it, I can't say that it's like something I'm like really passionate about. Like it wasn't like, oh my god, I want to take photos. It was more so like the thought process of learning.
Yeah.
Like just learning a new skill. That's what I was more so interested in. So I don't know that. I don't think it'll be anything in my future for me.
I feel it. It's still dope though. So your album cover for Neighborhood Diamonds is included some lovely people, including myself.
Yeah.
And some dope people that have inspired you and that you worked with. Can you just go into detail why you chose those people and why you wanted those people on your album cover?
Yeah, like I had the vision to like what I roughly wanted the cover art to be. As soon as I kind of decided that, okay, this is going to be a project, it's going to be called Neighborhood Diamonds. I already had that idea of where I wanted to shoot it at, location wise, the overall aesthetic. I already had it in my head, like right as soon as I kind of decided this is what I was going to do. And so from there, initially I was thinking, okay, it's something I can do by myself. I can just take it and recreate the vision that I had. But as I started thinking more and kind of like trying to further home just the overall concept and idea, I felt like it was only right to bring others who've helped me get to this process or get to this point in my career, to involve them in it. And so when I reached out to yourself and I reached out to other people who were all on the cover art, these are all people that have helped me in way any form or fashion, but also like really symbolize what I feel like it means to be a neighborhood diamond. Like we're not going out our ways to get attention or to get clout. It's just like we really trying to let our talent and work speak for itself. And unfortunately, in this society as a whole, I don't think it's not set up with social media. It's not set up for that. And so those are people that I want to shed light on and speak to with my music and my platform. So it's important to do that.
Well, I thank you for asking me to be part of it, because it definitely came at a time where I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing in life right now.
Facts.
But I mean, it was dope, and it inspired me to be like, okay, I need to get the ball back rolling on this whole orgasmic thing and everything. So, I mean, it was a dope thing to be a part of, and it was dope to know that I'm helping somebody with their, journey and stuff.
Yeah. That's the I feel like that's really like the beauty in a lot of this stuff, like in whatever you're doing. Like you don't really know. It's hard for you when you're in it, like when you're doing like orgasmic media, when I'm doing music, it's kind of hard day to day to think how am I impacting, or who's the influence, or who's inspired by what I do, or who have I gave any type of advice or just knowledge, information to, and how they took it and how it's helped them. And so bringing you guys all together and me kind of like speaking to you guys beforehand and letting you know the concept of it, I think that was important, because I feel like you said, you guys have blessed me and helped me in ways, and so it was only right to kind of, I feel like, return the favor and show it how important. Like you never know who's watching.
Exactly.
So that's why it's important. Yeah.
Exactly. Which is dope. And for those of you who don't know, Bryce is not a newbie to Orgasm Media. We've been following him for a while now. He's rolling with us since day one. We've been rolling with him since day one. So it's definitely been a dope thing to see the growth between me, between you. It's amazing. So besides being your first full-length album, what sets this project apart from your other projects?
I think that's a great question. Shit, damn. I think what really sets it apart from my other projects is this is me. How can I articulate that? This is me like in my fullest form. Like, I've been doing this for so long. I've learned, I saw what worked, what hasn't, just in terms of music wise. And so this is the first time that I feel like I've been able to showcase just my artistry as a whole. Like mostly the majority of the people that have heard my music thus far, and really based off of what I've released, it's all kind of been more of the conscious lyrical vibe. And that's cool, but I felt like I got to the point where, and it's easy to put yourself in a box. And so for this one, it was no box. Like it was you getting all sides of who I am as a person and also as an artist. And so that's like really what sets it apart. Like I feel like you can listen tracks 1 through 10 and you'll get a different side of me. It's not gonna be it's not gonna be the same thing, but it's all gonna connect in a way, because it's all sides of who I am. And so I feel like that's why this is just so important, and kind of why I emphasize like this is my first full-length project, because I've dropped stuff, EPs, mixtapes, but in terms of just original music and just in terms of cohesiveness, this is the one for me thus far.
Yes, I love to see it. I feel like it's different, because I feel like you're a little bit more hands-on with this one. Like you're a little bit more, plus COVID too, we had so much time to be alone with our projects and everything. I feel I feel like you're a little bit more hands-on. The samples on here are amazing, okay? Sheesh. They're dope.
Yeah. You did that. Thank you. No, I was thinking, because like you said, like before the samples, you were saying like how much time I had to sit on this, and you're so right. Like it was literally like recording it in the crib, from the crib, taking it to the car to test it out, from the car, riding my bike around, my neighborhood, just listening to it in the AirPods, listening to it on the Echo, the Amazon Echo. Just start like
Yeah.
I tried to, huh?
You have to name your stuff.
Yeah, no, because it was like it was important. Like even like literally, I even played the shit on like a boombox. Like it was like because I wanted to like hear it in every format just to kind of see what I needed to change. What I would just hella like particular, almost to a fault. Like it was just like a lot, and so it's funny, kind of like now that it's out and people are receiving it well, that it worked itself out. Like part of me was like at a certain point was like, damn, I don't know if this is gonna sound right. I'm not like, it's not mixed in terms of what I'm used to because I'm not a professional. All of those things you go through when you're trying to create something. And so for it to come out, for it to be well received thus far, it's like, man, I'm thankful for real.
Yes, it's lovely to see. And also, I feel like when we're working on something ourselves, I feel like we are more hard on ourselves and we're worried about what others are going to think.
Yep.
Without, we're just so locked in on perfecting it and making sure it looks right, make sure it sounds right, make sure it's all put together, that we forget. I kind of feel like we forget the fun of it all because we're so like trying to make sure everything is going right until like when it's finally released, you realize, oh, dang, like, oh wow, this was fun. This was actually fun. Like, okay.
And the thing too is like they got this thing now, like, or not now, but they got this thing in the music industry, engineers, where you have like engineer ears, where it's like you hear certain shit that the average consumer, average person wouldn't hear. And so a lot of like what you just spoke to is that it's like, fuck, damn, they ain't gonna. I mean, this is too loud, or this kick, or this bass, or this snap or snare is coming in too loud. Like that's the engineer ear in me that I've developed. But then once you play it out loud, it's like, oh, this shit's loud, or this shit is good. Yeah. Like people aren't even listening for that, and so that kind of
the average person I learned too. It's not trying to tune into all of the sounds in the background, but it's like you
yeah. So. I hear all of that. Right. Wait, but you said the samples though. So you know what samples? Some of the samples that's on there?
I know a few of the samples, but yeah, you did your thing on the samples for sure. I loved it. It was great. The vibe was great. I feel like it was a nice mixture of the fact that you're from the Bay, but also living in LA. It was a nice mixture of NorCal and SoCal, like together, combined.
Man, shout out my brother, Ashlyn Jordan, Tevin Wallace, Daedrian, Ashlyn Jordan, he's from Oakland. He produced 7 out of 10 of the songs, and a lot of them, like the one you probably mentioned, like they were all samples. And so either it was me hearing a song on my own, or like going back to songs that I usually fuck with, because I'm really like, that's another thing. Like this project has been dope because I obviously am a rap artist, but I really love like my favorite genre is like R&B, especially like old R&B and soul. And so a lot of the samples either I picked or AJ picked, but the ones that I picked is like stuff that I listen to on a regular, and I just haven't sampled yet. So I would send it to him like, bro, sample this. He'd come back, I'm like, all right, tweak this, add this. But that was the process. And so yeah, I really wanted to make sure it was shit that people was familiar with too and can vibe to. So that was important.
That's dope. What's your favorite sample?
On the project?
Yes.
Damn. I'm gonna have to go. Let me think. Favorite sample. I gotta go with the sample. I would say on "Diamonds Are Forever," and that's Cameo hanging downtown.
Okay.
And
I love Cameo.
Yeah, but it's like I hadn't heard that song, and it's funny. Shout out my family, Jakar and Maisha. They're married, and they're like my homies, and so they live in LA. And I literally pulled up on them like one night just on some random. I think it was like Taco Tuesday or something, and they had this little like versus shit going back and forth where they play a record, or he'll play a record, she plays a record, and we all like I got into that, and so I was playing a record. It's like all three of us playing records back to back. And his Jakar mom, shout out his mom, she played that song. Like that was her. She's on FaceTime with us too, and so she played that song. I'm like, oh, this shit hard. Like I gotta sample this. And literally like that night, I sent it to AJ, and he sampled it, and that's how you got the song that you hear now.
That's amazing. I like stories like that. That's dope.
Yeah, that shit was dope to see it come together. So I would say right now that's my favorite one. But I don't know. Honestly, I feel like that should have changed probably tomorrow.
Oh, so you
or next
probably
day.
changed it.
Yeah.
I feel it. So besides like working on your project and everything, we've definitely had a lot of time with ourselves in mental health and dealing with our own demons. I
Yeah.
see you recently tweet about how faith was a battle that she had to, overcome daily, which I
Facts.
definitely agree with you on that.
Facts.
What are ways, like, on days that you feel like your faith is shaky or you feel like, your faith is low, what are ways that you kind of reassure yourself or give yourself some type of uplifting or guidance?
I just tell myself to shut up. Honestly, like in my head, because it's like we had. And also, it's funny you said that. 'Cause I was literally talking to my homie about this yesterday. It's like in our head, like we have the ability to. It's all in our head, so we have the ability to think negative thoughts and think positive thoughts. But what I learned specifically this year, like those negative thoughts, they're not me. Like although I'm having them in my head, I feel like I've worked it and challenged myself enough to separate the two. And so I'll have days where I'm thinking negative, but I'm also real enough for myself to be like, you on some bullshit right now, or you cutting off. Like that's not real. That's not really how you feel. And so I try to separate it, and then be able to move off of that and not let it. Like it's one thing to think about it, but it's one thing to act on those feelings. And so I feel like I'm good at this point to not act on them, even though I may think them. And then also I think it's just doing stuff that I know is right, music, talking to family, talking to friends, I don't know, watching a sermon, shit, reading the Bible, reading a book, whatever, something, ride my bike, something that's positive that I know is the right thing to do. Like, and I think, when I do that and do the right thing, it always kind of works itself out for me mentally. And so that's really kind of been my key to everything. What about you? That's a great question, by the way, too. That was a dope question.
Ask me a question, okay. Honestly, I listen to music. It's usually some oldies for some reason. Oldies kind of getting me out of there. I think I tweeted the other day, like "Joy and Pain" by Frankie Beverly and Maze is therapy. So if I really feel like I am just like in a emotional rut, I'm gonna play that song because I don't know. I just feel like he explains so well why you have these days where you feel low, and then you have these days where you like on cloud nine, and it's like sometimes those dark days are needed to bring you those brighter days. And I feel like that song is like the perfect example of that. So I play that for sure. Going outside, being outside in the sun is definitely something that uplifts me and makes my mood better. Writing it out too. I've always been a type of person to write out my feelings. I think I've been doing that since I was little. Write down how I feel. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I show it to people, sometimes I don't. Most of the time I probably don't. But writing out how I feel for sure, getting those thoughts out. For sure telling myself to shut up. Because I am one to overthink. I want to go down a rabbit hole of what ifs and
oh my God,
work out and oh my God, and think about it from this side. So to quiet my mind, I have to listen to some music, write it out. Talking to my grandparents, both my grandmothers are great people to talk to. Definitely for different topics, but they're great people. They're great people to talk to get me out of that mood. And then I recently started therapy this year. I think I started it summertime. So therapy has definitely been a great help.
For sure.
Shout out to Miss Brenda, okay? She's great. She's a black lady.
Shout out Miss Brenda.
Shout out Miss
Brenda.
So yeah.
She from where she from? She from Oakland?
Yeah.
Oh shit, okay, look at it. Shout out Miss Brenda, man.
Shout out to her. She's definitely been great. She's definitely been dope. But yeah, for sure, just getting outside or getting outside of myself mentally is something that has helped me. Because this year has been a lot. This year has been a whole lot. So, but I'm grateful for it because it's taught me a lot about myself, and it's taught me a lot, and I definitely healed a lot. So yeah.
Facts. I think that, like you said, like this year, for myself, obviously, like you just said, for you and a few other people that I've spoken to, like in hindsight, like I feel like this is gonna be when we look back in 5, 10 years from now, this will be that year I feel like that made us in terms of like solidify who we are as adults, right? Because I'm 28 and it's like I've already kind of transitioned to adulthood, but this was that year where it was like everything you could think of was thrown at me, was thrown at all of us, really. Like, you know, the unexpected death, fucking not being able to move and even really interact with the outside world like that. Like all of those things has been thrown at us, and it's like you were forced to adapt. And so, like for me, like you said, like all of those tools that you got, that's what's kind of like helps. And then that's the crazy part about it, because even with all of these tools that we have that we're equipped with, it still was hard. Like shit still wasn't like a cakewalk. So that kind of just showed you like that shit is it's preparing us for something that's much, much bigger than we probably can even fathom.
For sure, for sure. I was just talking about that with my friend the other day. I think I tweeted that too. Like, this year was a lot of healing and clearing that I feel like is going to set us up for some beautiful blessings down the line, for sure. It was a lot, though.
Damn,
Lord knows I was over it. I was like, this is
man.
Like a lot of things, you know, that we took for granted was put on a pause. Like, you know, for example, a little Taco Tuesday with your friends. Like, you couldn't even go do that really because of all the stuff that happened. And, you know, you take that for granted. Like that one night out with your friends, now it's gone. Like now you by yourself and everything. So, this year was a lot.
I'm trying to, man, I'm ready for this shit to be over. Like, I'm like, fuck. But I really feel like this year, like, and I can't say this, I don't know if I can say this about every year, but this year I really gave like this year, like everything I had, like everything. Like, I feel like every fiber in my body, every bone in my body, I feel like I gave this year that. And so to end it with this like project is like, for me, it's kind of like the icing on the cake, the mazel tov, if you will, for a crazy, crazy ass year.
Do you feel like the weight has been lifted off your shoulders just a tad bit, or?
Yeah, yes, I do. But I think too, like, even because it's like the first time I released music this year for sure, but even releasing the project, like, it's like, damn, it's kind of like fucked up. I can't really do too, like, you know, normally I would be able to tour or go out, do a listening party, people come and all of that stuff. And so the fact that I'm kind of really relegated to social media, to being online with a lot of this stuff, it's kind of like, damn, it's kind of a little like sad in a sense, but I know that it's in the grand scheme of things, it's only temporary. So for me, I'm happy that I got it out though. Like for sure, I'm happy that I got it out. I can kind of move forward in terms of like creative shit that I got done. I want to get done.
For sure. Because I know it's totally different for you. Because I know this time last year you getting ready for touring around, you know, the country.
Yeah.
And now we're like, you know, virtual. Everything's online. You have to do it from your home. So I know it's totally different. It's definitely a 360.
Yeah. But shit, I mean, if you can thrive in this environment, it's like, shit, ain't nothing that you can't thrive at this point.
But it's definitely a sign that you can do whatever you know, put your mind to, because you know we are in lockdown, but you're dropping a project, you're still getting great feedback from this project, you're still getting, you know, lots of love, people tuned into live and everything, so you know you're still prospering even through the darkness.
That's real. I mean, I feel like I do a good job at that, but at the same time, like in terms of like just having a positive outlook. But I've been working on more so like just not taking things personal, like even good or bad things. So it's like people, you know, showing love, and of course I appreciate it like 100%. But it's like for me, it's always like I know I have more work to do, and I don't ever want to get satisfied or content. So it's like just trying to do for all that I can to kind of continue to push the project and get it out to the people, and making sure people listen to it, get feedback, and then it's almost like I already know what's next for, but it's like, yeah, go on to the next thing. Not like, you know, I'm not just saying fuck the project, but in terms of just my mentality, it's like I'm trying to now I got that out. It's like, okay, that what's next for me to work on creatively. And so I'm really just inspired, and I'm just really, at the end of the day, regardless of all the shit we go through, negative thoughts, I'm happy and I'm blessed and I'm thankful that this year panned out the way that it did, even with the ups and downs.
Yes, love to hear it. Same here, for sure, for sure. I usually have my question bowl, but I think I have a special question for you.
Okay, let's get it.
My question was, since you've already been on the show several times, and we've definitely seen your progress, what advice, if you could go back to the first interview you had in the park, I think that was like 3 years ago, what advice would you give to Bryce, that Bryce, from the Bryce now?
Oh shit! I'm trying to picture that, because you had your whole different hairstyle.
And I had like short hair. I was blonde.
Fuck. Okay, so you said what advice would I give? I'm trying to go back to that day, kind of see where I was at.
You need a picture?
I got a picture in my head. Okay. I would say, just do it now. That's what I would say to myself. Like, do it now. Like, I feel like 3 years ago, like the stuff that I'm doing now, that was still there. Like the thought process, the mentality was still there. It just hadn't been developed yet. And then it didn't. A part of me probably, I think, was still figuring myself out, like figuring out what it is that I want. I think at that point, I still like hadn't been fully stable living in LA, so that kind of probably like affected a lot of it. But neither here nor there. I would say just doing it now. And shit, it's all about timing and patience, because it had to happen. Like, it took, a couple of years to get to where I am now. And I'm not the one to kind of like say like, damn, if I would have knew this, blah, 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 because that's not, it didn't work out like that. It happened how it's supposed to happen. So I would say probably just staying patient, but also believing in myself and executing all the visions that I had in my head at the time.
Yes. I love it. Well, I thank you for virtually sitting down with me and discussing this project, which is dope. I'm very proud of you. It's amazing. Yeah. No, and I'm happy to have been a part of it somehow, some way. When y'all stream when you see me.
I'm gonna have to cut you a check or something.
No, for sure. For sure. I mean, 10%, and if it was
oh,
20, okay.
Not 10, not 20. No, but yeah, I think for real, I really appreciate you guys, Eargasmic as a platform, and you just to be able to like, because this is what it's about. This is the type of like environments that I thrive in, and I really like appreciate and support, because it's like, it's not really about who you know, how many followers you have, what you're doing on the internet. It's just really about like who you are as a person. If you're a genuine person, if you're doing something that's worth getting some attention, which I know I am, it's like y'all supported it. And so I think I really like, it's great. Like, as much as you say, like, it's great to see my growth. It's really great to see you guys' growth as a platform, and all I know it's a lot of work, and all of the behind the scenes stuff that we don't see, that the people don't see. It's like the fact that you're doing it that's half the battle. So again, and always appreciate Eargasmic Media.
Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate it. Definitely kind words. Thank you for sure. It's a lot, but artists like you and people who I've talked to and sat down with are the reason why I keep doing it, because I love sharing these type of stories to inspire the next person, the next generation, and so forth. Because I mean, like, we aren't famous or whatever, but we have stories that need to be told, that need to be
told. For sure.
And definitely happy that I have this platform so I can help get these stories out to the masses and share them with everybody, and to inspire the next young rapper or whoever, or philanthropist, because you're not only rapping, but you're also in the community. So, we see you.
Trying to do it all. Neighborhood Diamonds available worldwide. Also, merchandise. Pressure makes Neighborhood Diamonds out right now. BryceSavoy.com. So support. You know, when y'all see this, I appreciate you guys' support in advance. Shout out Irrigators Media. Shout out Oakland, California, Black Neighborhood, and all of that good stuff.
Are you ready for that versus on Saturday?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's gonna be epic. I can't wait for that.
Yes, no, I'm excited. Who you going for?
I'm personally gonna go with E40.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm more familiar with his catalog, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be neck and neck, honestly.
Yeah, it's gonna be good vibes all around. I'm definitely pulling for E40. But I love me some Too Short too, so
That's gonna be epic. That's a good. I feel like that's a great look for just California in general.
Yeah, I've been saying E40 needs the verses. I've been saying he needs his flowers for sure. I think E40 is a dope artist, a dope person. And
Yeah.
He's stepping out entrepreneur and everything, like, you know. So I think he's a great person for a lot of artists to look up to and to, you know, research on. Because, you know, we talk about Master P and Diddy and Jay-Z, but E40 up there too, for sure.
He right there. He opened up the floodgates for a lot of them artists that you just named. So you right.
Exactly.
I'm with you.
Exactly. And he definitely started a hyphy movement out here.
Y'all see now that's a whole different conversation.
Talk about the hyphy movement.
That's a whole different conversation. Like, we can get into that later.
Yeah.
But yes, he did though. He definitely helped, you know, pioneer and bring it to the mainstream. So can't discredit anything that he brought. Him or Too Short, they did a lot and made it to
and
people like me.
Their longevity in the game too. E40 still be dropping 40 songs, a full CD, like
facts. And niggas, people still be his core followers still be tuning in and tapping in, and you know, like in features too. Like he'll get big features on whoever your favorite artist. So
exactly.
Going crazy.
So shout out to them. So I can't wait because I'm excited for sure. You know, Oakland my second home, so I'm for sure ready for it. Such a hater.
No,
Can you tell people what?
I said no. I'll give it to you. I'll give you that.
Right. Can you tell the people where they can find you and your social media? Well, social media, where they find you.
Yeah. BryceSavoy.com. That's the website. It's the official website, so you can get all things related to Bryce Savoy and what I got going on there. And in terms of social media, really just Instagram and Twitter, Bryce Savoy 510. Shout out East Oakland. And so that's it. Social media, website, check me out, and tap in.
For sure. Well, I want to thank you for rolling through here, and I appreciate you. And all right, we out of here, y'all.
Head to the clouds, wishing on a star.